Time in September 2024, I was diagnosed with a condition called pneumothorax. That is, I had a collapsed lungs. My lungs was mixed with fluid, liquid, air, all those things. And they said it was a case of emergency that I had to go through a surgery, which I did that same day. And I came back with a suction tube with me, that's with a chest tube, and I was in the hospital for like 3 weeks. The surgeon kept coming to tell me that, hey, your lungs was damaged, that it would take a very long time for my lungs to be resuscitated fully. Each time he said, I would say in my mind that no, that my lungs was not damaged, that God was going to replace my lungs, that I serve a living God, that I am always on the altar of fire, my wife and I. So right there in the hospital, I was in the emergency ward for a while. I was always joining Pastor Jerry in the morning prayers, and I was believing that one day my words will come, one day my situation would be mentioned. Sometime in October that last year, in one of the prayers, Pastor Jerry did mention that people in ICU.
My God, people in the ICU are waking up.
The same October, I was discharged with a chest tube. And 3 weeks into my being at home, I was going about my normal business with the suction tube. The suction tube pulled out. I said, okay, let me go to another hospital, which was higher than where I was before. So I fixed an appointment and I went there. So upon examining me, when I got to the second hospital, 2 days into them admitting me, they said I would need to do another surgery, another procedure. After the surgery, I came out with almost 3 chest tubes. Was still believing God for healing, where on the altar of fire we were believing that God was going to heal me. And I told my wife, hey, that Pastor Jerry will mention my situation. December 4th, when the prayer order that morning, when Pastor Jerry mentioned my case, pneumothorax.
Pneumothorax. If you are the one putting on the live stream, the devil is a liar. I announce, let it be reversed by mercy.
I picked on that word. I said, yeah, this word was for me. I ran with it. I prayed. I told my wife, yes, that this is my word. Then after that, I called the hospital that, hey, I think it's high time we come see what is happening. I told them I wanted to go through another scan. So they said I should go and get a scan. I went to get the scan. That was on the December 10th or so. So when I had the scan, I came back home. I was barely seated when they called me that, hey, from the hospital, that we can see you have done your imaging and that the imaging looks good, that there was no more pneumothorax. The following day, I went to the hospital. They did all the scan. They did everything. They removed the last chest tube that I was carrying. They did another new scan. Lo and behold, the result came back that there was no more pneumothorax. From that day till today, God has perfected my healing. This is me. That the surgeons, you were saying that I might even be walking around with oxygen, but this is me. Pastor Jerry, I want to say thank you.